All right, so welcome back to the second Garageband tutorial for MacBook. Any MacBook that you have that has an updated version will look like this. So this is the song that we started working on in tutorial number 1. Today what we're going to cover is we're going to continue on with form, so how to continue adding to your song. And then we're going to talk about melody, how to add then the melody to your song over the top. All right, so last time we created this introduction, and the introduction kind of staggers in its texture. So you can see here that we start off with the bass, then we add this electric piano, and then we add the drums in. So now I'm ready to go on to this section over here. That's my intro. I'm ready to go on to this section over here and start working on the main body of my poem. So what I'm going to do is go back and take a look at my poem, Jellyfish. And what I see here is that it right now is just like kind of like one big verse. Like it goes from start to finish. It's not really divided up into verses. So I kind of have to make some decisions about how I want to do this. Do I want to make it just like a one verse poem where I just go from start to finish? Or is there some part in here that I want to pull out and make its own verse? Like I want to make it something that repeats over and over again, or like an underlying layer that kind of adds some rhythm to it. So if you're, depending on how your poem looks when you look at it, you'll make those decisions. Maybe you have 5 or 6 verses. So maybe you have something that has 4 lines for a verse, and then another 4 lines for a verse, and each one is really similar in its pattern. So in that case, you would maybe have a pattern of that we call in class A, or strophic. So I'm going to decide, I'm going to make some of those decisions now. I can always change later, but I need something to start with. So what I think I want to do is have some part to this that becomes my chorus, something that repeats, and then some verses that go in between. So what I'm going to do for my chorus here is I'm going to make this decision. Here's what you would do. Read it through and see if there's something that really kind of lends itself to repetition, something that contains a main theme, or something that you feel can really be done that way, kind of stretched out and done. So for me, the part that I want to do here is the first part. And this is the part that I want to make into the chorus. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, an amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Okay, so that's going to be the part that I want to repeat over and over again. And then the rest of it, I can decide, how do I want to do this? Do I want to have that part kind of come in every now and again? I could start by just doing this, making this kind of the first part. So that'll be like my chorus, and then I can go into a verse. And then my verse might be here, starting with your arm, and then going all the way down to you abandon your intent. That's kind of a natural breaking point there. And then I can come back and repeat my chorus, and then I'll close out with my verse 2 right here, and then come back to my chorus again. So my form that I'm going to write about in my reflection is going to be verse and chorus, and I'm going to have an introduction in there, and I don't know, maybe a bridge. I'll think about it too, some kind of instrumental thing in the middle if I want to do that. All right, so I want to get started by adding in this chorus. So this chorus is what I'm going to work on right here. That's the part I'm going to focus on for this example today. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, an amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Okay, so now let's go back to Garageband. As you can see, I have my intro here. Now, to add to this intro, I'm going to choose one of these parts that I kind of want to carry through. And I can choose more than one part that I want to carry through, but I'm going to definitely carry this bass section through. And I'm just going to stretch it out so I have a good bit of rope to work with, as it were. And then I also want my drum beat to carry through too. Okay, But I want to add some new things here for this introduction. I had this kind of disco, this kind of disco electric piano going on there, but I want to add something new into that. All right, so I'm going to go back over here. I'm still in my instruments and I'm in the drum kit, so I want to get out of that. I'm going to go back into my funk genre and I'm going to look for maybe some guitar. So let's hear it. Ooh, I really like that. Let's drag that in, and I'm going to come down here, line it right up. Oops, wrong spot. Okay, I'm going to line it right up so that it's going to start here right when this electric piano stops. All right, let me carry through that a little bit. So I've got 3 sounds here in my texture that I have going on. And let's just hear how that sounds. So here's my intro. Okay, so I can make some decisions about that. If I'm not crazy about that, I can change it up too. What I actually like is I like this one to go under my voice. So I'm going to trade this up. I'm going to move this one here, and then I'm going to shorten that down. Now I can bring this back when I want to. Maybe I want to bring it back at some point. And then I'm going to move this one over here. I think that'll fit better underneath my voice. So now you can see it's going to start with this, come in with this, and then that. And then these 2 are going to keep going, and then this disco is going to keep going as well. Okay, so now I've got this segment here. I can label it my chorus if I want to. I'm going to just go over here and click the plus button. Note it called it a verse. I don't want to call it a verse. It's going to be my chorus. I'm starting with my chorus. I know that's unusual, but that's how this song is going to work. And I'm just going to stretch that out so I can always shorten it later, but that's what I'm working in here. Okay, now you have another feature that will help you as you're doing this next part, which is now we're going to add a melody. Okay, so I'm going to click up here where there's this little measure 1, 2, and you can see it lit up this thing that says cycle range. What that will do, I'm going to show you. If I have that clicked and highlighted, it also highlights this up here, which means it's just going to loop that section right there. So watch what happens. Okay, it's just looping that. So I'm going to keep that on for now, and then when I'm ready to be done with that, I'm going to click that. I can click it here, here, turn it off. All right, but I don't want to loop the intro. I'm going to drag this. That just did something weird, I think, but oh well. I'm going to drag this over here to my chorus, because that's the part I want to loop, and I'm going to give myself like a good little segment there, and then that's just going to loop. It's going to keep playing, and then I'm going to be able to explore with my vocals. All right, so now I have my poem. Let's get that pulled up on the half screen here. All right, there it is. And this is the top part, the part I'm going to work with. So I'm going to go back into Garageband, and now I'm just going to click play, and I'm going to move my little marker to right here. So I start at the beginning of my chorus segment, and it's just going to loop that while I explore with my vocals. So what I'm going to do is just start chanting over the top of it, and then if I start to hear some pitches, I'm going to try with my voice to just explore some pitches. Now this song is new to me too, so you're going to hear me do exactly what I'm asking you to do. And I'm not a composer either, so you're going to hear kind of the start to this process. And then if I were to keep going with it, I would keep working with it and perfect it. And I'll show you some tricks to do that in a minute. All right, but let's just get this going, and then you'll hear my voice chanting over the top. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, and amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, and amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, and amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. So you can see I came up with a little melody there. I think I'm ready to try recording it. I might be able to add some harmony then. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to click that off, the little repeat there. I'm going to move this back to my intro. But now I want to record my vocals. So I'm going to have to do something a little bit different that we haven't done yet. I'm going to click into this vocal, natural vocal there. And instead of clicking play, I'm going to now click record. It's going to give me a countdown. Then I can just listen through my intro, and then I'm going to start singing when we get here. Okay, so let's move this back so I can see my poem. I'm going to click record. Visible, invisible, a fluctuating charm, and amber-colored amethyst inhabits it. Alright, so you can hear that I was able to sing with it, and the microphone picked it up. So notice that I have some extra vocals here that I don't need, so what I can do is click on that, shorten it up to where I actually come in. Okay, and then I'm going to just start it right here so you can hear how that sounds. Okay, so you can hear my voice in there. It's not very loud. So what I can do if I want to adjust that, I can do a couple of things. I can make this louder. That's my voice. I can make these softer. That's the instruments. And then if I want to hear exactly what it's picking up, because I was playing this at the same time, so I'm thinking it was picking up also what I was also the different sounds that I was recording. Okay, so let's mute these, and let's just see what it was picking up. Yeah. So you can hear how it was also picking up my instruments. So the way to avoid that, so what I mean there is, I just muted all the rest of my instruments over here. Oops, except the bass. But it was still picking up all the rest of the sounds too, because everything is coming through the microphone. So to alleviate that, I can just pop in my headphones, and I'll be hearing the sounds in through my ears, but my microphone is only going to be picking up my voice then. It's not going to pick up all those other instruments at the same time. So that's the way to get around that. Okay, so now I have recorded a vocal. So what do I do if I want to add another vocal layer? Maybe I want to add some harmony there. Okay, so for example, let me just sing to you what that would sound like. So you can hear I kind of sang over the top of it. So I can add another layer. I can add a second vocal part, higher or lower with that. And the way to do that is I'm going to go up here to track, new track. Now I can also do new track with duplicate settings. So right now I'm highlighted on that one. So if I click new track with duplicate settings, notice that I just got myself another vocal track right there. Okay, I can do that with any track that I want, but now I can record over the top of that too. And I'm going to make sure to put in my headphones so that I'm not recording myself twice or double time like that. Okay, so that's how you go about adding your vocals.